I just completely forgot to put in the back. Oh, well. Here we are. Hello and welcome. Let me put that tweet. Tweet. There you go. All right. Hello and welcome to me building the Enterprise. I know it's a little off brand, but I will definitely consider myself a bit of a Trekkie. I have watched all of the movies, I've seen a bunch of the TV shows in its entirety, by the way. I quite like Star Trek in addition to Star Wars. The thing is, anyone who's actually seen both has invested time in understanding both. If you understand that both are a different thing. Star Trek is science fiction. Star Wars is fantasy. So if you prefer fantasy, then you're gonna prefer Star Wars, which yeah, I prefer fantasy overall. But I do like science fiction a lot, so I like Star Trek as well. So yeah, this is the NCC 1701D, not ABCD, ABC or E, or the original one, or the NX from Enterprise. No, this is the D. Some people may get some innuendo out of that. That's not what I'm going for. So yeah, this is set number, what is it? 10356 with 3600 pieces. It comes with 9 minifigures, and because I picked it up on Black Friday, the Shuttle pod, which these days goes for a lot of money. But this is actually going to be my first ever gift with purchase that I'm going to build, and I'm going to start with building this one, and then I'll of course get into the main build. So yeah, for a lot of Trekkies, this is of course a dream come true. A lot of Trekkies have been waiting for Lego Star Trek for an extremely long time, and it's kind of insane that it took this long because there's actually where's the? It's on the box somewhere. Where is it? Like indicating 60 years of Star Trek. Um, where was it? Not here. Not here. Is it on here? There it is. So, you see that? Star Trek 60. Star Trek as a franchise is turning 60 next year. Means in all the 60 years, this is the first Star Trek Lego set. Because Lego couldn't get the rights, Star Trek didn't give the rights, all kinds of, it's always a rights issue with these type of things. So kind of crazy that it took this long, but I'm glad that we're here. And this is also the exact reason that I picked up the set, because come on, I got to make sure that we are getting more Star Trek sets in the future. And if you want to make sure that we are getting more Star Trek sets, if you're a Star Trek fan, even if you're not a particular big fan of this Lego set or the ship in general, get it. Make sure that we get more sets. I want more sets, more Star Trek sets. As much of a Star Wars fan, of course, as I am, I do want more Star Trek sets. I want Star Trek fans to be as happy as I am as a Star Wars fan. And in all honesty, I'm not that happy anymore because Star Wars has just become a bit too crazy with Lego as of late, as of the past couple of years. Anyway, enough blabbering. Let's get into the build of the shuttlecraft first, and then I'll get to the Enterprise. So the Enterprise is just going to be on the floor for a moment. All right, so you know what? I'm actually going to just cut this open nicely, make sure that it doesn't get all fucked up or anything. It's all paper bags. That's nice. Right. So 1, 2, and 3. We even got 3 separate bags for this: sticker sheets and booklet. All right. So that is your gift purchase shuttle pod. Yeah. Goodbye. So, bag number 1 for the shuttle bar. Then, of course, a big sticker sheet. I'm curious. Like, I've actually never made one of these gift with purchases because every single time that there was a gift with purchase, I didn't care for it. The only gift with purchase, by the way, that I was interested in, that I would have built, was the fell beast that we got, that they got with Barad-dûr. But by the time that I ordered Barad-dûr, like a day after it went on sale, the fell beast gift with purchase was sold out. Fuck me, right? Anyway, there is no brick separator. That's what I was curious about. It doesn't have a brick separator. Well, it's a good thing that I have plenty. I always have one on my desk in case I need it. All right. Yeah, let's not have the shuttle crumbled up. Like, let's proudly display Data, my second favorite character of the Next Generation, behind, of course, Jean-Luc Picard. And just so everyone is aware, I have seen all of the movies multiple times. Does that include the motion picture, Final Frontier, Insurrection? Yes. It's painful, but yes, I have seen them multiple times. As bad as they are, let's be fair. I have actually seen all of The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Lower Decks, Strange New Worlds. I've seen a bunch of episodes of the original series. I haven't seen Enterprise. Yeah, that's about the extent. So I actually know my stuff in regards to Star Trek. All right, so we're starting with the build of Ensign Ro Laren, who is a Bajoran woman who actually turned on Starfleet and became a Maquis. Now, that's something that any old that any person who doesn't really know Star Trek would be able to tell you. I know that because I've actually seen the show. All right, so I mean, nothing too special, you know. It's her. She does have a double face. There's a different face print on the back. Just pick one that you prefer. I went with the one that actually is in the instructions with her mouth slightly open. But yeah, there you go. I'm gonna just place her there. So I hopefully won't bump into her. I've had that. I'm just gonna, yeah. All right. So, shuttle about itself. But, well, if there are people watching this, first of all, if you're watching this either live or on the replay, I do want to say thank you to everyone who's been tuning into my channel. Apparently, one video in particular has blown up over the past couple of weeks and gathered me a bunch of subscribers, which is very nice. So welcome to the channel, and thank you for subscribing. It's very nice. Nice to see. Of course, I assume that the people who subscribed are here for the Star Wars content, not necessarily Star Trek, but what are you going to do? But if you're watching this live or on the replay, please give me a like and sound off in the comments, in the chat. That kind of stuff helps me out. By the way, I just need to check. Okay. This is actually kind of important. I do need to quickly check a message that I apparently got. Because I've had a bit. Why am I getting a notification of my own live stream? I know I'm live. It's weird. Yeah. Okay, but I do need to check this. And of course, that is the moment that the app needs the update. Yeah, I apologize for the interruption, but the issue is, unfortunately, I was fired this week from my current job. And as per next week, I don't have a job. So there are things that I needed to arrange, which I'm arranging. But I got a message in regards to something that I needed to arrange. So now this is different. Okay, this is not what I was expecting. That's annoying. Okay, apologies for the interruption. We're back. Make it so. So, if there are any, if there's anyone tuning in who doesn't know much about Star Trek, but you might have been interested, or you're just watching and just listening to my ramblings, I'm just going to ramble about Star Trek for a bit because, as a lot of people know, Star Trek is turning 60 next year. That marks the 60th anniversary since the first ever episode airing of any Star Trek, because Star Trek started off as a TV show. The 1966 TV show, more commonly referred to as the original series, which ran for 3 seasons, and it's about the original Enterprise, the NCC 1701, with Captain Kirk at the helm. Oh, there's the first sticker. Oh, this looks cool though. Yeah, these are cool sticker elements actually. Despite the fact that I really don't like stickers, but then again, who does? It's nice. Yeah, back in from 1966 to 1969, Star Trek aired for 3 seasons, and after 3 seasons, they ran out of steam. They decided not to continue with it, but that is the first. It is the original Enterprise, as they call it, the NCC 1701. No additions or anything. Captain Kirk, Spock, Scotty, Uhura, Bones. That's the cast. And that is the exact same cast of characters as we have in the new movies. Of course, it's different people playing them in the newer movies. And with new movies, I'm talking about the 2009 Star Trek, 2013 Into Darkness, and 2016 Star Trek Beyond. And those movies were my introduction to Star Trek, let's be fair. Actually, to be completely fair, when I was a kid, I watched a bunch of episodes of Star Trek Voyager, like it would be on TV, and we would just watch a couple of those episodes. But the unfortunate thing is, we would always watch the first half of those episodes, because essentially the episode would come on right before we went to bed. We would watch about half an episode, and by the time the commercials hit, we would have to go to bed. So we would never really fully see it. But I do have nice memories of watching that. Essentially, my sister and I and my mom, we would watch those bits of episodes back then. But then I really got more into it because of the new movies. So that... then, well, I'd seen the new movies, I liked them, and it was like, okay, let's check out the old movies. But I had already, by the time that I actually started with the old movies, I had already heard certain things about the old movies of like, which is good and which isn't. It's a very simple rule. The odd-numbered ones aren't good in general. There are exceptions to the rule, but in general, the odd-numbered ones aren't good. And the even-numbered ones are good. Again, exceptions to the rule. So the very first movie is Star Trek: The Motion Picture, which came out in 1979. It very much was Star Trek's response to Star Wars. Like, Star Wars had made movies, and they were like, oh, well, we can do this now as well. So, yeah, Star Trek: The Motion Picture came out in 1979. And there are people who defend it nowadays, and those people are wrong. 1979's Star Trek: The Motion Picture is boring as fuck. It's not a good movie. And it's mostly not a good movie because it tried to do 2001: A Space Odyssey, which I get. At the time it was a big thing, but like 2001: A Space Odyssey, now that's a great movie. Watch that one. Don't watch the motion picture. Anyway, because the funny thing is, the second movie, Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, is considered as the greatest Star Trek movie of all time. I don't agree with that. I think it's very good, though. And it's definitely also a very good starting point, because you can just watch The Wrath of Khan without being like, oh, am I missing something? No, you're not missing anything. If anything, you're missing the episode of the TV show in which Khan appeared, which is a good episode. Other than that, you don't need to see that. It's pretty self-explanatory. Sorry, I'm just a bit dehydrated. But yeah. So Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan is a very good movie. I would even say it's a great movie. And it's like the proper start of Star Trek movies. Then we get Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, for which, by the way, we did a watch-along over on the And I Quote YouTube channel last year. And I Quote is also linked in the description, because last week we did a watch-along for GoldenEye. If you want to check that out, I was on that. I really enjoyed that movie. But also on And I Quote, there is a watch-along for The Search for Spock, Star Trek III, which I like. I don't love. There are clear issues with the movie, but overall, it's the best out of the odd-numbered Star Trek movies, Star Trek III. Then you have Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, which is a movie that is beloved by a lot of Star Trek fans. I don't love it. I think it's okay. It's not terrible. But I don't think it's as good as people say it is. It is definitely a different Star Trek movie than what you may expect, because it's not as action heavy and it's a lot more comedic. Like, it's way more of a comedy. And some of the jokes are actually really funny, by the way. I will give it that. Too much LDS? LDS? Did you mean LSD? Kirk? But yeah, overall, I'm not the biggest fan of Star Trek for The Voyage Home. Well, then you have Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, directed by the guy who plays Kirk, William Shatner, and it's the worst one. It's the worst of at least the first six. Final Frontier is terrible. It's really bad. The one thing that I'll give it is that it might be a better drunk watch. So if you get drunk, it might be somewhat fun. Other than that, it's really bad. There's a reason that it was. I actually think it won some Razzie awards. So, hey, Greg. So, yeah. Star Trek V, not a good one. Now, Star Trek VI. Star Trek VI is my favorite of the original series cast. It's also the final one of the original series cast. But yeah, Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country is great. Love that movie. And recently built Notre Dame. That's cool. Notre Dame looks cool. Was it fun? Was it a good build? Yeah, so essentially, the funny thing also is if you watch the original series movies, the first six, you can just start with Wrath of Khan. You can skip motion picture altogether. It's not worth your time. It's also the longest Star Trek movie, so just don't bother. So you can just watch Wrath of Khan, then search for Spock, then Voyage Home. You can skip Final Frontier. There's nothing really in Final Frontier that's important for the next one. So you can just watch Undiscovered Country, and that's where that ends. Between Fun and Agony. I kind of assume that the agony comes because of the fact that it's an architecture set and it has repetitive steps. Because a lot of architecture sets are repetitive as all hell. That's what my friend Nico said when we were building sets together. I was building Hogwarts, and he was building a Colosseum, and he hated the building experience. Because architecture sets are repetitive. Like, architecture sets are the sets that have the most the most of the same single piece. Shut up, Wesley. Yeah, that's when the Next Generation comes in. Because actually, the funny thing is, the Next Generation started when the original series movies were still coming out. The original series movies, like the Next Generation TV show, started in 1987. And then Star Trek V came out in 1989, and Star Trek VI in 1991. And Star Trek VI actually has a connection to the Next Generation, which I'm not going to say much about. But yeah, then we got the Next Generation, and all of a sudden we have the Enterprise D. What happened with all the other ones? To be fair, in one of the movies, the original Enterprise gets blown up, and that's why in the next movie you get the next version of the Enterprise with the Enterprise A, NCC 1701A, which makes its debut. Then the Enterprise B and C, we don't really see all that much of, but they do exist. We see the Enterprise B in the opening scene of Star Trek Generations, the very first movie with the new cast, with the cast from this set. Now, I will say Generations, because it's odd numbered, it's not a very good movie. But yeah, it's the one and only appearance of the Enterprise B. Then the Enterprise C is probably a bit more difficult to find, even though actually it's a very good episode of The Next Generation. I think it's in season 3 of The Next Generation. It's called Yesterday's Enterprise. In Yesterday's Enterprise, we see the Enterprise C appear. But that's about the extent of that. So if you've seen that episode, but of course you need to get to that episode by watching seasons 1, 2, and 3 up until that point. But it is a good episode. Imagine Lego Deep Space Nine. There actually is someone who made a humongous Deep Space Nine, which looks amazing. The thing though is that's not feasible as an actual set. The question though is, are they going to make an actual kind of set of Deep Space Nine? Because I do feel if you make a set, you need to just make a mini scale display piece that you can't do anything with, because it would be so huge if it has any kind of interior. As cool as that would be. I need to build this twice. Yeah, in regards to the Next Generation TV show ran from 1987 to 1994, and then later in 1994, they released the first movie with that cast. Star Trek Generations, I already said it's not a very good movie. And right as the Next Generation was ending, they started with Deep Space Nine, which is my favorite TV show of all of them, of all the ones that I've seen so far. Deep Space Nine is great. Great cast of characters. There actually is a little bit of overlap. One of the characters actually two of the characters from the Next Generation go on to Deep Space Nine. One of them is Miles O'Brien, the other one is Worf. Worf is a minifigure included in this set, so that's cool. And yeah, Deep Space Nine is, in my opinion, the best one because it has the Dominion War. The Dominion War is awesome. I'll just leave it at that. And then after the Next Generation ended, they also started with Voyager, which I've also seen in its entirety, which is a perfectly fine, fun show. I do prefer it a little bit over the Next Generation, but overall, I will say that neither the Next Generation or Voyager comes even close to how good Deep Space Nine is. That is in my opinion, of course. Oh shit, I'm making a mistake. Yeah, then you have, in terms of movies, we had Star Trek First Contact in 1996. That is my absolute favorite Star Trek movie of all of them. Then in 1998, we got Star Trek Insurrection. That is officially my least favorite, my most hated Star Trek movie. It is terrible. It is so bad. And then in 2002, after all the shows were done, we got Star Trek Nemesis. Now, Nemesis is a movie that for some reason a lot of people don't like, and I don't understand why. I think Nemesis is a really good movie. I really enjoy it. It's in my opinion, actually a really good Star Trek movie. It's got a couple of flaws, sure, but overall, I still think it's good. So, and then right as Voyager was ending, because Voyager ended in 2001, they started with Star Trek Enterprise, which is a complete prequel to the original series even, because it takes place 100 years before the original series, and it's about a different crew on the Enterprise, on an older version of the Enterprise. And the thing is, I haven't seen that show, so I wouldn't be able to say much about it. But it ran for, I think, 4 seasons. And then years later, we got J.J. Abrams to reboot the franchise. Now, J.J. Abrams is not a Star Trek guy. J.J. Abrams is a Star Wars guy. So J.J. Abrams made Star Wars movies with Star Trek characters in them. But I was okay with that because I'm a Star Wars fan. There are actually, a bunch of Star Trek fans who do actually like J.J. Abrams movies, despite the fact that it's not exactly Star Trek. It's close enough. But of course, they are way more action-heavy, less focused on exploration and more focused on pow-pow, pew-pew, that kind of stuff. Where did these go? Here. And you know what the funny thing is? Like, Star Trek villain and hostile faction. That is a great question, by the way. Because the thing is, a lot of people would probably say that the best villain is Khan, and he's good. But you also have that is tricky. I probably, in terms of hostile faction, I would say the Dominion. The Dominion is scary as hell, and also the allies that they gather throughout the Dominion War. There are so many layers to the Dominion War. That's crazy. But I mean, I could also say the Borg. The Borg are also scary as hell. And the Borg Queen, of course. So, yeah, I would probably just say the Dominion as hostile faction. As in terms of a villain, that's difficult. That's very difficult. I can tell you which villain which villain is not gonna, be in my favorites. Nero from Star Trek 2009, played by Eric Bana, not a good villain. Also Kroll from Star Trek Beyond, played by Idris Elba, not the best villain. Also not Benedict Cumberbatch's version of Khan. I do actually think Cumberbatch gives a good performance. It's just I don't like what they did with the character in that movie. Like, I actually quite like Into Darkness. I like an hour and a half of Into Darkness. The last half hour is like, oh, we're doing this. And it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating that they do it, but whatever. Other than that, I think Into Darkness is a really good movie, actually. Borg in the Star Wars universe. Can you imagine an assimilated Twi'lek or an assimilated Togruta? Resistance is futile. Yo, what is with this? Yeah, it's not lining up well. Don't know why. That thing. But it honestly, it would probably be extremely cool to one day see any kind of crossover between Star Wars and Star Trek. And I'm talking about an official crossover. I don't mean any kind of fan film. If they can make it happen, that would be cool. I just have the feeling that they are, like, the unfortunate thing is that both Star Trek and Star Wars take themselves way too serious to do that kind of stuff. Actually, I think Star Trek would be up for it because Star Trek, especially with like stuff like Lower Decks, has shown okay they have a fun side to them. They can take the piss a little bit. Star Trek, Star Wars takes itself too seriously, way too seriously, which I understand. But it would honestly be cool to have the crossover. Wait, did I forget something? Oh, I forgot something. I definitely forgot something. I don't know where. Oh boy. But I have a 1x2 plate over here, and I don't like having a 1x2 plate. Where did I miss it? I hope it's not too far back. And it's an easy fix. Shit. No? Okay, where are you? Where are you? I mean, I did that. Oh, I forgot it here. Okay. Yeah. There we go. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you? All right. Back up, piece. Get the fuck out of my way. All right. Back number 2 of the shuttle. And of course I did. All right. I'm going to need a Band-Aid. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Tiny bag. I gotta say, I'm still not used to these paper bags. It's just a bit weird as someone who has had Lego and plastic bags for the longest time. It's a good thing though that they're doing it, but it's just a bit unorthodox. Anyway, so yeah, Star Trek in terms of movies was done by J.J. Abrams, and then actually Justin Lin took over for Beyond. I'm shitting my pants thinking about Abu Dhabi this weekend. Because I need a McLaren World Drivers Champion. I just need it. I need it desperately. You know what the thing is? It's my birthday this weekend. I need this. It needs to be my birthday gift. Because I cannot stand the idea of Max taking this championship after he was back by so much. So much. Like, I'm gonna be an absolute nervous wreck. The good thing is that, you know, for qualifying, that's the thing. Like, it's my birthday on Saturday, so I've invited friends, family over to come watch. So I will have a distraction with qualifying. But for the race, I don't have any plans to watch it with anyone, and I can't have Max win it. I can't. He can win the race. I need Lando to finish on the podium, or I need Oscar to take this title. Also, is it just me, or does the Star Trek badge look like the McLaren logo? Is that just me? All right. My favorite team besides McLaren is Liverpool, and that's the only answer you're gonna get out of that. Which, by the way, at the moment, it's an extremely frustrating time to be both a McLaren and a Liverpool fan. So Cadillac is going to reveal their car at the Super Bowl. It's not a bad idea. Yeah. All right. There. By the way, whoever thought of using the brick separator to place stickers, thank you for the tip. It is much easier to do this like accurately. Well, You know what, Greg? For your sake, I hope so too. The truth is, I have no idea about American sports, so I wouldn't know. But I suppose you support the Cowboys, so for your sake, I hope they do. Like, I don't have a horse in that race. Oh. Well, I messed that up, didn't I? Stay. I don't exactly don't know what you mean. Who is your FIFA chances? Is that in regards to the World Cup next year? You need to clarify. Sorry. Yeah. You know what the weirdest thing is? I still don't understand that question. Because the thing is, in regards to the World Cup, the most of the teams that are placed, like most of the teams are already placed, and actually the draw is going to be tomorrow for the World Cup. But yeah. Oh, but are you asking who I think will be world champion next year? Stupid app. Um. Oh, trust me. Three. I will say, by the way, in regards to these sticker elements, I'm very glad that they are pretty much transparent, so that like it blends in a lot better that way. I think sticker elements should do that more often, because one big criticism that a lot of people have from sticker elements is that the color of the sticker is slightly a different color than the piece that you're putting it on, and therefore it looks ugly. Shit. No. Shit. Can I not? Okay, fuck. Oh. No, that's there. What is this? This is weird. So this right here is a. How am I able to show this like well? This is a 1x2 weird plate, and usually it's not a backup piece, but in this case, There is nowhere I can place it because I checked every single one that I needed to use, and I've used them. They're in place, so I haven't missed it. So I actually have a piece that is not usually a backup piece as a backup piece. That's what's confusing me. So there's that. Anyway, last little bag, and then we'll be done. Okay, wow, it's actually crazy that it took me an hour to complete this little thing, but this one's packed. There's so much to it, like the fact that this at the back can open up, the fact that actually, I'm not sure how you're supposed to get the front out, because the thing is, this is supposed to open up. Anyway, like the side doors open up very nicely. Let's see, can I just push it like, yeah, there you go. This even goes up. It isn't really supposed to, let's be fair, but it's cool. But yeah, the side doors go all the way up, which is nice. Yeah, I'm honestly surprised by the fact that, this packs a lot. And you got a minifigure with it. So, very nice gift with purchase, jeez. So, main build time. I'm sorry it took so long. But we're going to get into it. All right. You know what I find weird? Usually the instruction manuals are like, you can make you can scan the QR code and log it as one of the sets that you own. This doesn't have a QR code. So I can't log this as a set that I own. I don't know why. Anyway, where do I put this? Put it like on the side somewhere. Yeah, that'll do. Um, Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Their ongoing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before. Iconic opening theme, which, by the way, that opening theme is from the motion picture. Jerry Goldsmith made the original, the theme that is used as the intro for The Next Generation, made that for the motion picture, and then they just tweaked it. I didn't actually show the back of this thing. Oh, and on the side you have a top shot of the thing. Back of it, it's actually cool that you get a complete stand for your minifigures. So, thing is, you just cut it open and then it just slide it. Oh. And there you have your Lego. And it's a box within a box. I will never really fully understand why Lego does this. A box within a box. They just do, I suppose. Anyway, I think I prefer to have this thing in there. So 15, 25, 24, 30, 26, 40, 8, 7, 29, 22, and 16. Okay. So the highest number that I got there was 30. Highest number in bag. So these should be the lower numbers. Oh. The thing is, if these are the lower half numbers and the other bags that I have are the higher numbers, I understand that you want to separate it. However, Lego is extremely inconsistent in this regard. Sometimes the small box has the higher numbers, sometimes it has the lower numbers. I can never figure the fuck out what they do with it. They're inconsistent with it. It doesn't make any sense. So I don't know why they insist on, doing a box within a box. Just throw it all together, old school Lego style. It's how we used to do this, There we go. Tiny box. I'll just put it here. 6, 2, 7, 9, 14, 8, 2, 4, 1. Now, Lego, this is not a paper bag. This is still plastic. I thought the entire idea was to get rid of all plastic, but then for the bigger pieces, they still use plastic. What the hell? There's a piece of flex tubing. So why is this loose in there? Why is this not in a special bag? Lego? Do better. Anywho. I should just cut this open or something? I suppose. There we go. All right. All right, so 2 instruction booklets, sticker sheet, one. Oh, this is the moment where I can scan it. Which, by the way, it's a good idea to do that if you have like Lego sets. You get insider points for claiming that you have it. So essentially, the way that you do it, there's a QR code on the booklet. So you scan it with a QR code scanner, and then it will give you a link to the Lego website. And it will say register your set for 20 insider points. So if I say register set, they ask a couple of questions like who is it for, what occasion. You know what I'm gonna say, because it's my birthday. It's my birthday gift to myself. Why not? Lego.com website. Send. No. And then you register the set, and you got 20 insiders points. So that's cool. Even though what's funny is like buying the set I think buying the set got me like 2,200 insiders points, and then you get another 20 for actually registering that you have. It's like, yeah, I got it. Anyway, so. All right, so as per usual, these instruction booklets start with a little bit of info about the set, where it came from. Oh, there you have the entire quote. Oh, okay. It's a good thing that they actually spell boldly right, because I have seen that on the sticker it's wrong. It is, right? Yeah, it's wrong. Oh, sorry for bumping the mic. Focus, camera. To boldy go, where no one has gone before. They got it wrong. Are you okay? Yeah, we're good. To boldy. So famous missions. Famous missions is interesting because it just highlights a couple of episodes. Behind the scenes. Oh, there's an overview of all the minifigures that you're gonna get in the set. Jean-Luc Picard, Data, Worf, Riker, Deanna Troi, Beverly Crusher, Geordi LaForge, Guinan, and Wesley Crusher. And there's a quote for all of them. Lego Icons design team. how to hold the model. All right. Number 1. Ensign Ro goes over. No. But let's remember, Ensign Ro is a traitor. Traded to the Federation, that is. So, the very first minifigure is Dr. Beverly Crusher. As Enterprise's chief medical officer, she always carries her medical tricorder. Yeah, sure. Big smile. Why not? Pants and earpiece. Again, Beverly Crusher has 2 faces. This is one face, and this is the other. And that's the figure. Of course, in blue, medical blue. I will say that some of the colors don't really make much sense to me, and also the color scheme of the outfits is like slightly different in the original series compared to the Next Generation. So, also the uniforms keep changing throughout everything. All right. Oh, wait. Start with the minifigure stand, actually. Oh, and there's your brick separator. I will say I would love more sets to do this, to have an actual minifigure stand, because the truth is a lot of sets don't like have places on the set itself to place minifigures. One set that does, for example, is Rivendell. With Rivendell, that's one thing that I really enjoyed, that they included like 15 minifigures, and all of them you can place throughout the set to have them, look like they're in scenes together. You can play, and that's very cool. That's a very cool. But the thing is, like in this case, in the case of the Enterprise, it's not in any way, shape, or form minifigure scale. Minifigure scale would be gigantic, and that's unfeasible. So in this case, they know that they have an unfeasible size of the Enterprise for minifigure scale, but they at least make sure that you have a nice stand to put it on. Can LEGO do that more often, please? This is a really nice stand, and also the fact that you have the show logo at the front of it. It's like, that's how you do it. Was that difficult? Actually, at the moment, I can just put Ensign Ro on there as well. Why not? All right, just needed to Organize that. Plans for the weekend. I thought I talked about this before. I thought it was obvious. But yes, for sure. Let me just open the bag. So, yeah, in terms of plans, God, the thing though is this week has been crazy, annoying, all over the fucking place for me because on this past Monday, I hear that I've been fired from my current job because I only just started working there and they can't there's not enough work for me and another person who's also just started working there. Both of us are working through a job agency, and if you are not on a permanent contract but you're working through a job agency, they can drop you like this. So that's very annoying. So as of next week, I actually don't have a job. So technically, tomorrow is the start of a vacation, a mini vacation that I wasn't planning on, but I have it. So it's not necessarily as much of a weekend as it is, the start of my vacation, kind of. The thing, though, is nice birthday present getting fired, right? Yeah. No, it's my birthday on Saturday. I plan, to have friends and family over to come watch qualifying with me and have some drinks and have a nice time and perhaps go out or something. That's still going to happen, by the way. But the thing is, that everything is going a lot of things are going wrong for me right now. I lost my job. Formula One is not going the way I like. Football is not going the way I like. My birthday doesn't look like it's going the way I like. Everything is just not going the way I want it to, and it's really frustrating me. And the thing is, this weekend is the the finale of the Formula One season, and the only thing I just want is a McLaren driver to become world champion. At this point, I don't even care who it is. In the past, I was, of course, I preferred Oscar, but I do like Lando as well, and there's a part of me who would love for Lando to win the championship because everyone seems to be hating on him. I'm I want to shut the haters up, please. Though I don't think it'll shut the haters up. They'll just come up with more excuses as to why Lando isn't as good as he really is. And I'm shut the fuck up. Lando is that good. He wouldn't be in a title fight if he wasn't that good. And he's going up against, good drivers. So I'm how can you possibly say that he doesn't deserve it if he beats Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri? I think those are very good title challengers to beat. So if he wins it, I would just be happy for him for shutting up all the haters. Of course, my preference is Oscar Piastri. He is the driver out of the two McLaren drivers that I prefer, but at this point, I'm okay with both of them. The one thing is, I just don't want Max to win another championship. But the thing is, that might happen, and I get the feeling that it might just ruin my entire weekend, so that's not great. Um, I still just hope to have a nice time on Saturday with my friends and family. Perhaps go out, maybe get drunk. I don't know. I just want to have a nice day on Saturday. That's all I care about. We'll see about Sunday. Then again, like Sunday, I might just be, hungover, so I might just feel terrible either way. We'll see about that. But yeah, tomorrow I'm actually going to be off a little earlier than usual because it's kind of a national holiday. Not exactly, but it's our Christmas in a sense. Even though we celebrate Christmas, but there's another thing that we have in the Netherlands which is similar to Christmas because there's an equivalent of Santa giving presents to children. So therefore, I'm going to be off an hour earlier than usual, which is nice because that gives me time to actually clean my apartment, get ready for my birthday on Saturday. So that, um, but yeah, in that regard, I'm gonna have a fairly busy weekend. Of tomorrow after I come back from work, I'm gonna go grocery shopping, clean my apartment, get everything ready for Saturday. Saturday I have a birthday, friends, family, that kind of stuff. Sunday race day, hungover. So yeah, no, I'm gonna have an eventful weekend in that regard. I feel so. Yeah, those are my weekend plans. Oh, I also just realized Liverpool is probably playing at some point, and I have no idea when exactly. When are we playing? Oh, that is not great. Because Liverpool is playing Leeds away on Saturday evening, my time. We'll see how that goes. But you know what the thing is? When it comes to, because I follow football and Formula One, very, very often, one of the two goes wrong. There's a part of me that's glad that we're playing on Saturday, not on Sunday. But the thing is, Saturday is qualifying. So we have qualifying, and then we have the game. One of them is going to go wrong. Now, considering Liverpool is having a shit season anyway, I'm okay if we lose that. I won't be in the best of moods, but I'm okay if we lose that if it means that McLaren gets the result that we want in qualifying in the race. So, I might not even be able to watch the game. We'll see about that. Um, You're hoping to go to the Lego store. What do you want to do there? You want to get a certain set or something? Maybe something from the Pick a Brick Wall? Oh, the Pearl. You know what the thing is? I saw the announcement for the Black Pearl, and I was like, I'd love to get that set. And then, the very next thing that I thought, how much is it? In my personal opinion, the Black Pearl is insanely overpriced, and I'm just gonna wait until it gets cheaper, until there is some kind of discount at some point, so that I can get it at a fair price. But it does look amazing, and I do want it at some point. All right, I'm gonna do one more bag, and that'll be it. And so far, this is what I've done: 2 bags, and of course the display stand, or the minifigure stand, not display stand. What am I saying? No. They don't have it, you go for Willy Wonka. Okay. Thing is, Willy Wonka, in my opinion, is also overpriced, and in addition to that, I'm not the biggest fan of the look of the set. I am also not the biggest fan of the original movie. I like the movie. I've seen it a couple of times, but I don't have like a particularly huge nostalgia for it. I suppose if you do have if you are very nostalgic for that movie, then it's nice. Also, yeah, it's also a much smaller set than I usually get, because of course I get a lot of big ones. Get on there. Good thing it's not the Burton one. Yeah. God. Well, I mean, the less we say about the Tim Burton Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the better. But yeah, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, I mean, a lot of people consider it a classic. As I said, I've seen it a couple of times. I like the movie. But that's about the extent of that. Lego Blade Runner. I mean, in terms of one big issue with, well, there are several issues with Blade Runner. First of all, both movies that we've gotten from it have bombed at the box office, were not financial successes, but both of them were critically well received, and of course, got a following because, well, the original Ridley Scott one is considered great. I personally don't love the first Blade Runner. I do absolutely adore the second one. In it, but the biggest issue with it, it's not necessarily a kids movie. Neither one of them. Actually, I think the second one is definitely very adult. Lego usually goes like if they make a Lego set from an old movie, they go with a movie that is kid friendly. Even if Jaws might not be the most kid friendly movie, I will say that, but it was rated PG at the time, and kids did see it back then. So there's that. The Goonies kids movie, Willy Wonka kids movie, has some dark shit in it, but kids movie. Blade Runner, categorically not a kids movie, and that's the issue with it. Like, it's not really for kids. Even though Lego should just say, fuck it, we're pertaining specifically to the adults with this one. But I don't think they're ever going to do that, because I just think the overall aesthetic, the overall theme that Lego is going for is they are a toy for kids. Despite the fact that, so many adults get these sets, and a lot of the sets are 18 plus. But, for kids. But I mean, in regards to potentially getting a Blade Runner set, yeah, there are definitely certain things that they could do that would be cool, but I just don't think it's realistic for Lego to do that, unfortunately. Also, I'm just gonna put on the Man United game, just to have something to watch in the background. Not really pay attention to, let's be fair. Yeah. Okay, I need a different side. Is that it? Yeah, that was it. Alright, you. Shut up. But I definitely think that one big contributing factor for a lot of the Lego sets that they're making about old movies, despite the fact that a lot of the Lego sets that they are making about old movies are for the people who were kids back then, but they're adults now, and therefore they're able to make an 18 plus set. But yeah, the entire idea of it is they are going for kid-friendly movies. So when you have a movie like Blade Runner, which in no way, shape, or form is kid-friendly, plus it was never a financial success, it's going to be very difficult to pitch that as something. However, I say that, and I'm just thinking about the Dune Ornithopter. Dune is not a kid-friendly movie whatsoever. Like, it may be PG-13, but it's not kid-friendly. The difference, though, is financially it was a success. So there's that. It's funny though. The original Blade Runner, released back in 1982, way back when, uh, was visually a beautiful movie and in a way ahead of its time. But that's the issue; it was ahead of its time, and people didn't gravitate towards it, and people just dismissed it as we're not going to watch it in the theater, and it bombed. And then after that, it got a cult following, and people started to fucking love it. I've seen the original Blade Runner several times. I have seen different cuts of it. I'm like, it's fine. I don't love it. I don't hate it though, but I don't love it. And then we got the announcement of a sequel to Blade Runner. My first thought was like, really? A sequel to Blade Runner? What? What are we doing? Why is this happening? And if I had just realized that it was directed by Denis Villeneuve, I would have been like, oh yeah, no, this is going to be good. I actually did go to see it twice in the theater in the IMAX. It was that good. Imagine watching Dune Part 1. I mean, I have watched Dune Part 1. I have watched it a lot of times, most notably the first time when I watched it in IMAX. So I don't exactly know what you mean by that. But I mean, I did go to see Dune Part 1 in IMAX because they released it in theaters. Actually, that was the cool thing about our neck of the woods here. We got the movie early. You guys in the United States needed to wait for it. And then it was released in theaters and on streaming at the same time. But we got to see it in theaters before anyone else. That was cool. And then Dune Part 2, I watched 5 times in theaters. First time in IMAX. So that was cool. Oh, so you meant to say, imagine watching Dune Parts 1 and 2 at the Sphere in Vegas? I don't know what that Sphere is, if I'm being honest. But I would say seeing them in IMAX, pretty good. No, I got that. I got that it's a giant sphere off this trip. Just I wonder what kind of experience. I don't know what kind of experience that is in terms of theater, because in terms of theater, I go, or in terms of cinema, I go to the cinema very often, at least every month. I feel I see a lot of movies, and I will say that I have never seen a better format for movies than IMAX, because the screen is ginormous and like slightly curved, and the sound system is also amazing. So I don't really know how you would beat that. Using conscious shows in it. Okay. All right. Well, I don't have any plans to go to Vegas anytime soon. In terms of socials, I'm on Letterboxd and I am on X, and both the links are in the description if you're interested. I don't have Instagram. But outside of YouTube, I'm not particularly like busy on social media or something. Oh, oh, that's nice. Nice little building technique going on. All right. With that would be my next minifigure. Oh, come on. Okay, fine. Mute the bloody side. All right. So this is as far as I'm gonna go for today. So as we saw the minifigure stand, of course, the shuttle pod, gift with purchase that I got, and well, this is the start of the Enterprise build. It's not much so far, but well, this is only 3 bags in, so I think I might be going live again on Sunday, this Sunday, to continue the build. So stay tuned for that. Also, of course, on Saturday, my next review of The Mandalorian is dropping, and boy, there are some rants in this one. Yeah, I'm really popping off. So I think it's good entertainment to watch. So stay tuned for my next review of the Mandalorian series on Saturday. And then on Sunday, perhaps another live build of the Enterprise. So stay tuned for those things. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please give the stream a like. And if you're watching this after the fact, then please leave a comment with your thoughts on what you've seen so far. Now, usually I would end this with the Star Wars quote, but I'm not going to do that this time. So, let's see. Okay. Live long and prosper.